Hey, we're live. We're actually starting right on time today. That's so good. And so I wanted to talk about a couple of things today. Today, it's actually National Get Organized Day. So there's one, let me give you a really great tip on organization. This is organization for your opening calls. Okay, so opening calls are a big part of the business here, especially when you're looking for cash flow deals, buy and hold deals, what people call creative financing, seller financing, pretty house deals. When you're looking for those and you're making your calls, I don't want you to get gummed up finding the leads and break your flow. So the way to approach your opening calls the best if you're making your own. Now, some people hire a virtual assistant or a local assistant to help them make their opening calls. And remember, our opening calls are what? There's FISBO opening calls, for sale by owners. What else is there? There's landlord opening calls. That's when you look up houses for rent and you call and you say, I'm not looking to rent the house, but there's a script for this. Obviously, there's a script for every opening call. So you got a script for your landlord, you got a script for your FISBOs. This is a one-page script. So you got FISBOs, landlords, listing realtors. That's another opening call. So when you're looking and finding good properties listed on the MLS, which it happens in certain areas, I want you calling realtors. Plus, don't forget, realtors are easy to get a hold of. They're easy to find. Find any property that's been listed over 30 days or has a price reduction and approach the agent and say, hey, would your seller consider monthly payments? And if not, you know any other ones? That's not a hard question to ask. And then make sure if you're talking to a realtor, before they hang up, tell them, put me in your phone under seller financing. Put under last name, write seller financing. Put my name in there under first name and my phone number and company name. Okay. And then anytime you find a seller who might consider monthly payments, you'll call me. Okay. So FISBO opening calls, listing realtor opening calls, landlord opening calls. Sometimes when you like a landlord opening call, a property manager will pick up. So we also have a brand new property manager opening call. That's all on your members website. That's your Our Wolfpack website. So and if you have the what to say and what to do system, this is in your forms folder. Okay, in your forms folder on your members website. Okay, so then you're going to get organized by, I also have a really cool Excel spreadsheet that I've sent to a few of you. If you want this spreadsheet, go ahead and send us an email at support@thewolfcouple.com. This is a really good spreadsheet, and it says the address of the property, the status of the property, when it was first listed, and all this other information. So what I like you to do is just go through all the FISBOs in your area, all the landlords, and just fill up this Excel spreadsheet. Okay, just fill that baby up all the way. So get like 20 leads all lined up with the phone numbers and everything you need is right there on the Excel spreadsheet. What do I like about that? Then you can just focus on making your calls. You don't have to focus on, okay, where's the next lead I'm going to call? And then you're hunting around on Zillow and, well, is this one good? No, is this one? No. That's why I like to, there's a thing called chunking or compartmentalizing your tasks. So compartmentally your tasks, you're finding all the leads on Zillow, on any other websites. There's also off-market property opening calls. Okay, don't forget that one. So if you find a good lead for driving for dollars, it's a vacant house or something, that's an important call as well. So I like to this is how we set it up because I realized how much more efficient it is. And whenever I was doing it, this is how I did it. So that's why I taught our acquisitionists to do it this way. If you're not doing it this way, I want you to transition over. And it's not hard to make your own Excel spreadsheet with your own little columns. It's just the basics, address, date listed, phone number, if there's a realtor, and then a notes section where you're going to have notes, follow-up, stuff like that. Okay, so that's how I want you to organize. So on National Get Organized Day, that's the way to organize your opening call calling sessions. Okay, your opening call calling sessions is get all the leads on your Excel spreadsheet and then just get your rhythm going and be boom, 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 boom. The only thing that's going to make you pause in between calls, so when you hang up, you don't immediately jump on to the next one and start dialing. You take 60 seconds and write notes. Don't forget about that. That's a really important technique. And you'll find that so much of the valuable notes that make the deal go through was what you jotted in that 60 seconds after you hung up. You're not going to have written down everything during the call because you just don't have the time during the call. And you'll start writing stuff down and oh, what was their dog's name? Oh yeah, Scruffy. And they're moving to Chicago and all kinds of stuff in there. And they built a new porch on the house and they think that adds $10,000 of value. And so you're gonna have all these great notes that are really important. Notes are precious. So don't forget, take 60 seconds after you hang up from every call, opening call or closing call, and take a bunch of notes, unless it's a total turn down, unless it's a total suspect. Okay. Also, guys, I'm always open for questions. So if you've got something cooking, if you're working on something this week or a deal right now that you need some help with, I'm very open to you guys asking questions in the chat. And then when I go through them, which I always do, then I have a chance to answer your questions. Good morning. I like when people call me professor. Makes me seem smart, right? Morning, Nolan, Kathy. I always like to see you guys here. And Robert with all of his pretty hearts. And chunking. Yes, chunking or compartmentalizing. Chunking I got from Tony Robbins. He's the one that I learned that from. Where, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. See, that's the thing. If you chunk it too big, if you say, okay, I got to eat that whole elephant for breakfast, it ain't happening. If you say, I got to, chunk out this goal that I have. So what's your goal? To close 10 deals, to own 10 cash flow properties. That's your first. Well, start with 5 if you want. So own 5 rental properties or rent to own properties. We like the rent to own exit strategy. Okay, so you organize that in your mind and you say, okay, how long is it going to take me to buy 5 properties? What do you think? Could you do it by the end of summer? Absolutely. You've got all of May, June, July, August. This is when the market's really starting to heat up. Summer's the time that the weather and the market heats up. So yes, absolutely possible to buy 1 house a month between May, June, July, August, September. So you'd have 5 houses at the end of September. That's a really great goal. That's a really great goal, and that's doable. Now, listen, if you have a goal in front of you and you think, oh my gosh, that's such a huge monolithic goal, I'm never going to be able to make it. It's just because you haven't chunked it out right. You haven't planned it out right. I'm working on this incredible system called PsychUps right now. And I chunked it out because I wrote down, deadlines for each individual PsychUp. And, so if you're on a big project or if you want to do 5 or 10 deals a year, just pace it out the right way. Now, if you're going to do 5 deals in the next 5 months, what do you got to do? The chunking is you got to make 20 phone calls a week. That's the first chunk. Okay, make those 20 calls a week. That's your primary KPI. And they don't always have to be to sellers, and they don't all have to be to sellers. They could be to other people, referral sources. You could talk to some buyers, even though you don't have a property ready yet. You could find some good buyers. But that's sort of that primary KPI is 20 calls per week. And that's your first little chunk. Okay, so if you can do that, I'm telling you, you're on your way to success, as long as you're using the right scripts and doing it the right way. Morning, Isabel. Great to see you as always. You're so smart. Oh, that's nice to hear. Okay, good point for others to know. Write down lots of notes after the phone call. Yes, guys, 60 seconds at least. If you have a little egg timer, Lynette has these little 3-minute egg timers. Right as soon as you hang up, flip the egg timer over and start writing notes. You'll be surprised. Sometimes you're still writing notes 3 minutes later because there was a lot of notes. And if you don't take that 60 seconds and you just think, I'll remember that. I'll remember they're moving to Chicago. I'll remember their daughter's name is Emily. No, you won't, because you're going to talk to 10 more sellers before you talk to this one again. So again, those notes are so precious. Absolutely. So great to see everybody here today. What's our affirmation for today? I love making opening calls. My opening calls are organized. Let's do that. I'm organized. Let's say my opening calls are organized. There you go. My opening calls are organized. And again, the system is the solution. What are we looking for? Just some kind of an Excel spreadsheet or any kind of a chart or something you can put the crucial information on that you can just sit there and call so you don't have to look stuff up again. Okay. But when you are doing your opening calls, I do want you to have your computer open, and it doesn't take you 5 seconds to click on a Zillow listing. So, and sometimes what I'll do is I'll pull up Zillow listings and I'll keep them open. And yes, it gives me a lot of open tabs, but then I've got every Zillow listing that's on my chart is already open, and I just can go from one to the next one as I'm making the calls. Okay. Hope you understood that. Watch this over if you don't get what I'm talking about with these opening calls, but these are very powerful. So my opening calls are organized on 3 times on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. My opening calls are organized. My opening calls are organized. My opening calls are organized. Yes, good job. All right, 3 deep breaths. Nice deep breath in. Fill up those lungs. Let it go. Now do this 3 times a day. Big smile. Suck it in. Hold it a little bit and then let it out. When you let it out, don't forget to relax your shoulders, your neck. We all hold a lot of tension up there. Okay, another one. Good. Hold it in. All right. Awesome. Now we're invigorated. We're all going to have a great weekend. And you've got a new methodology, an organized methodology to do your opening calls. If you're making, that would be awesome. If you make 10 opening calls this weekend, and because you have a good chart, that would be terrific. So let me know on Monday. And don't forget, guys, start asking if you get questions during the week. I want to be a good resource for you here. So you don't have to just talk about what I'm talking about. If you've got something cooking and you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. Anytime you got a question, you can bet other people have that same question. So guys, you guys have a great weekend. Have a great weekend, Robert, everybody. And I will be talking to you guys on Monday. Let me know how it goes. Until I talk to you Monday, keep expecting success, getting awesome training from the Wolf Cup land. Take